our next guest coming up needs really no introduction. Someone I'm pretty fond of, though I've only known her for a couple of days now, Mimi Craven. And she's got a great story to tell, a lot of filmography, and the doors are going to open. And she's coming out. There you go. Come out.
Coming out like the queen.
Yeah. Come and sit here and share with us your story.
Everybody can know. I'll just yell.
Well, no, it's too early to yell. You need a microphone.
Okay.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming out. Thank you, Mimi, for being here.
Yeah.
An Indianapolis gal, huh?
Yeah.
Pretty
Northwest
awesome.
High School. Go Pioneers.
I was Warren Central, so.
Really? Well.
I'll just scoot away a little bit. It's okay. I have no ties anymore. We're
Me
good.
either.
So, I would ask if it was your first time here, but
Oh God.
you've been here.
I have. Yes. Why after I went to IU, and I left after IU at 18. But my parents lived in Brownsburg, so I would come back 2-3 times a year if I could, and spend some time there. But never spent any time in Indianapolis. We would just go take road trips or whatever, antiquing, and my dad was a Civil War buff, so we would go to battlefields and things like that. But boy, Indianapolis has changed.
It sure has. We
Yeah,
never came
the
down here
artist
from
community
downtown.
here is amazing now.
Yes.
The Fringe Festival, and go down to Mass Ave, and it's great.
It's completely changed. We
Yeah.
weren't allowed to walk around downtown Indy.
No, God,
We
no.
went
You
to
wouldn't
Ayers,
want
to
to
the tea
go.
room,
Yes,
and
yes,
that's,
yes.
and that's it.
Yeah, but
Hold hands, kids, hold hands.
Yes, run. Yeah.
So before we start talking about Star Trek and other things, I wanted to talk about your photography.
Right.
You take a lot of pictures in graveyards.
I do.
And which
I
is
do.
fascinating to me because I love that too.
Yeah.
Historical archaeology is one of my degrees is in that. So I'm like totally
How many
fascinated.
degrees do you have?
I have 3.
Oh my God.
I didn't learn enough apparently. I'll be paying for them forever.
Yeah.
Hey kids, guess what I'm leaving you?
Yeah. Nothing. A lot of bills.
Here you go. Fortunately, I don't make enough to pay them. So, but what got you started with that? With
You
not
know-
just the photography, but that
You
too,
mean the
graveyard
yeah.
photography.
Well, okay. I was a working actor in Hollywood. It was great. I was one of those working actors who could still go to the grocery store, right? By the time you figured out who I was gone. But the parts I was doing, blonde hair, big tits, long legs, and I worked a lot up until I was about 45 doing those parts, because, come to my table, I looked pretty good. I looked pretty good. I have no problem with that. But, I could see that it was starting to slow down, or they were starting to go, maybe the younger Mimi Craven? Get me Mimi Craven. What does it get? Who's Mimi Craven? Get me Mimi Craven. Get me a younger Mimi Craven. Who's Mimi Craven? That's Hollywood. That's Hollywood. And before it was the Who's Mimi Craven, I always loved photography, watching somebody shoot me. So I thought, well, I'll pick it up and see what I think. And I knew everybody in town. I was flying all over the world with Sharon Stone for a while, for about 25 years. We were running mates. And I basically learned on her, which was quite an education, because that girl knows her face and knows her angles and knows how she likes it. And so I was baptized by fire, and I started doing movie posters and magazine covers and things like that. And because I was traveling so much, and usually, about 75% of the time it was with her, I didn't have much free time. So when I would have free time going around, I gravitated to graveyards because it was so peaceful and they're so beautiful. And I noticed that these angels, these magnificent, things were going, either to vandalism, acid rain, just time, and no one was doing them anymore. It's an art form that seems to be lost. I started documenting them just for me. And then Sharon, at the time, was the president of AMFAR. Do you know what the American the AIDS research that Elton and Elizabeth Taylor started.
Okay.
Anyway, Sharon was the big hoo-ha there. And when she saw the photographs, she writes, does poetry and things like that. We decided to do a book, and 100% of the proceeds went to AMFAR. So I really then started going to all the cemeteries, and we went to some pretty amazing places. So, yeah. I've had the book over at my table if anybody wants to see it. It was pretty amazing. It still sells, and it still makes money for AMFAR. So I'm very pleased.
Now, you studied ballet.
I did.
So
I did.
did you?
No, I was always third swan from the left. Or married to Wes, last swan on the left. But I was a teaching concentrate.
Okay.
So I taught, and when I met Wes, actually, I was a flight attendant for Delta Airlines, and on my off days, I taught ballet in Dallas. So,
And then one of your first roles was in Swamp Thing.
yeah, that was I was a flight attendant. Wes Craven was my passenger. He literally came up to me, and said, "You're the most beautiful," and he was so shy, and I didn't know this at that time. I don't know where he got the gumption, but came up and said, "You are the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life. I'm a director, and I'm going to South Carolina to direct a horror movie. Would you please come be in it?" And of course I went, "No." But his producer was on the plane also, and his producer is Michael Uslan, who produces all the Batman movies. He's a big stinky cheese. Big stinky cheese now.
He has a great book, The Boy Who Loved Batman.
The Boy Who Loved Batman.
It's
He's also written
fantastic.
like 17 other books,
Oh, yeah.
records, and the man
He's
is
amazing.
incredible. Teaches down at IU every year. He's amazing. Anyway, I don't know how he did it, but he got me to give him my address. And I received a telegram, the only telegram I've ever gotten, and it said, and it was from Michael Uslan, and it said, "My director can't eat, he can't sleep, please change your mind and come down to South Carolina and do the movie. It will change your life."
He wasn't lying.
Yeah, and it did. Oh, it did. Oh, it changed my life. And so I did. And that's how I ended up with Wes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's my favorite character, Swamp Thing, Doctor Strange. So tell us a little.
Ray Wise.
Yeah, yes.
Mhm.
Tell us a little bit about that experience of going from flight attendant
Oh
to
my God. Well,
movie.
yeah. Hurry up and wait. That's what you learn on a set. Hurry up, hurry up. Where's Mimi? Where's Mimi? Get her into makeup. Get her into hair. Get her into wardrobe. Okay, you have to wait. We're not shooting you yet. But hurry up. It's like, oh my God. And you have a family of people. Every movie set I've ever been on, it's the weirdest thing. You become a family, and then the movie ends, and you break apart, and nobody cries, because they know chances are you're gonna run into them again on another movie set, or whatever, and you become instant family again. It's an amazing industry. It actually is. It's I don't know, otherworldly.
So then tell us a little bit about being in Nightmare on Elm Street.
He made me do it. He made me do it. He made me wear the hat, that little white hat. Oh God, I hated it. No, I didn't. It's not that I didn't want to be an actor. I didn't really think about it. I did Swamp Thing. I wasn't an actor. I remember they mic'd me, for the first time, and I remember going up to the sound man and saying, I'm really sorry. And he said, what? I said, oh, my heart is beating so hard. I'm so sorry. And he said, oh, baby, I can't worry about it, because I thought for sure, And I just started doing a few things that Wes did, and so it was, but I was on the set every day. In fact, I ran into Johnny Depp years later at the Cannes Film Festival. And we were on, I'm sorry, but it was Harvey Weinstein's yacht. Yes, it was. Never had a problem with Harvey. I never had a problem with Harvey. But anyway, I'm really sorry about all of that. But it was like yachts are not small there, and Harvey's particularly. He always had the biggest one in the place. And the room was like this big. And I'm sitting like over there and I hear, "Mom!" Turn around, and there's Johnny way back in the corner screaming for me. And he still to this day, I've run into him several times, calls me Mom. Because I was Mrs. Sir or Mom on the set of Nightmare on Elm Street. And I went every day, and anybody had a problem, I would, boo-boo and put the Band-Aid on, and I brought cookies and, all of that. So, yeah, it was great. Great experience.
We are going to take questions, so since we're just kind of...
I know where all the bodies are buried, and I know who shot them. So. You gotta name it. You gotta name a name. I don't know. Anybody got a question for me? Okay.
Okay.
Well, that was easy.
You've done a lot of other TV shows, and you were on Twilight Zone.
Yes.
So I'm a huge Twilight Zone fan.
Angularity, Mr. Lowry. I remember my first line. Yes. Robert Klein. Robert Klein. Oh my God. I'm burning on all cylinders today. I am. Yeah, Robert Klein. And it was, I loved the redos that they did, the reboot or whatever you want to call it. And Wes did 4 or 5 of them, I can't remember. But this was one where Robert Klein wakes up one morning and he goes about his day, and suddenly he notices that the language is changing. And then he, at the end, I think he goes to his boy at home. By the end of the day, he doesn't understand anything that anybody's saying. Yeah, the first thing he notices is he comes to his office and I say, "Angularity, Mr. Lowry," because it just starts small, And he goes to his kid and goes to his books, and you see the picture of the train and it says zebra. So he has to relearn. I loved that. I mean, Wes did that, and I was on the set, of course, every day of all of them. And he worked with Bruce Willis, right after Moonlighting, so Bruce was not the big stinky cheese that he is now. And Morgan Freeman, and really nobody knew Morgan Freeman unless they watched, what was the kids show he did? Electric Company, which was so
second time that's been mentioned today.
So amazing. And Wes insisted on Morgan. And I can't remember who else, but yeah, it was really, those were fun. Those were fun.
And then you also appeared on Seinfeld.
Oh, yes, I did. A lot of me on Seinfeld. That was funny because Jerry was still doing all the casting, and this was either the 2nd or the 3rd season. And so I came in, I auditioned, I got the part. Then what you do is you go and you rehearse all week long, all day long at the studio. And then on Fridays, they would do 2 showings in front of a live audience. Well, they didn't wardrobe me until Friday before the shoot, right? And so I go, and I'd been wearing, my own clothes to rehearse, nice, but, and they put me in, the suit with the skirt that, was literally to here, and the jacket was literally like this, and then the hair they put in the big French roll with the one curl. So and the high heels that are like this tall, and the stockings and everything. So they wardrobe me, and I go right to Jerry's dressing room, and I bang, 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 bang like this. And he opens the door, and I said, "I thought you hired me for my talent." And he literally went, "We did. He did, literally he did that. Made me laugh, and I had to forgive him. So I figured, okay, put me in that outfit, no one else is gonna sit on that couch. I sat on that couch and just went, like I checked to make sure that, you know, that was my girlfriend's thing, not mine. So, so yeah, I had fun. That was a lot of fun. And worked with Bob Balaban, who was the guy who played the head of NBC. And Bob Balaban has the strangest little OCD things. You know, he would come on a set, and, you know, the set is the Seinfeld set. Like, don't touch the Seinfeld set. It's the Seinfeld set. But he would come and he would place weird things around, like he had a book that he put on a table, and then he had a little statue that he went and put like on a shelf, and they had to relight for some reason. And a guy went over and he started, it was like the gaffer or the grip or one of the Teamsters, went over and he started to reach for that little statue, and Bob Balaban just had a conniption fit. It was like it was his messing with his chi or something, because he had all these things. But he was funny. He was funny.
Can you see that in the show?
Probably. You know, I've never actually
have to
looked
go
for
back
it.
and
I don't
watch
think
that.
so. It wasn't for the camera. It was for him. So that he's such a, you know, he embodied, you know, like he owns the space, and that was his way, since the set was set up and it was supposed to be his apartment.
Okay.
And that's always hard, you know, you get hired and they want you to have, like I did a movie with Sam Elliott, and I was supposed to be his ex-girlfriend, now girlfriend, maybe ex-girlfriend, they're off again, on again. And so this is literally the first day I'm meeting him, and I'm playing a junkie stripper for the second time. Come to my table, I have pictures to prove it. First day of shooting is my strip, right? So I'm saying, hello, hi, my name's Mimi Craven, you're who? You're the lighting guy? Oh, thank you, I'll be naked later. Okay, hi, you're the okay, I'm Mimi Craven, I'll be naked later. And I went up to Sam, and I had read with him, auditioned with him, but that was the only time I'd ever met him. And this is supposed to be my apartment, we'd go strip, we'd go to my apartment, and all this, and I went up to Sam, and I thought, oh God, I hope he's on board with this. And I said, okay, we're supposed to be like exes and really, you know, into one another, but, you know, we had a good life, but we don't have it now. Can we shoot some Polaroids of us naked together that I can put on my mirror? Well, wouldn't you if you were working with Sam Elliott? I'm sorry. Any way you can get Sam Elliott naked. Thank you.
It's to get me in character.
Yes, exactly. And he looked at me and he said, now I'm gonna use the F-bomb, I'm apologizing in advance. I think that's fucking incredible. So, and I still have the Polaroids. Thank you. Thank you. Took those home with me. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Picture you and the talent.
Oh my God. Sorry. Flashback. Flashback.
Hot flash.
I know. I know.
Oh, Sam.
I know.
So, what did you, when you were growing up, what did you picture yourself doing?
I'm of the vintage. I wanted to be Rita Coolidge. I don't know if everybody knows who Rita Coolidge. I wanted to be married to Chris Christopherson and sing backup for Joe Cocker. That's what I wanted to do. You know, if you see the film Mad Dogs and Englishmen, it's a concert film with Leon Russell and Joe Cocker. Rita Coolidge is singing, and I was a singer also and a dancer. That's how my mother used to introduce me. This is my daughter Mimi, and she's a dancer, and she sings too. It was horrible. It was horrible, but that's what I wanted. I wanted always something in the arts, always.
So,
Yeah.
why did you say no when you were asked to be in a movie?
I guess because I'd been a flight attendant for 4 years at that point in time, and I'd heard a lot of, hey baby, I can do this for
Different than it is
you.
now,
And I
yeah.
was 22 years old and cute as can be, and I had heard it all. Never heard that. And I didn't know Wes. You know, now, like I said, he was an ex-English professor. He was so shy and gentlemanly. For him to get up that courage to come, I must have just, oh my God. He literally couldn't eat and sleep. It was true. Michael said, really, you know, you got to get down here. So, yeah, I don't know. It worked.
I think it was getting a telegram.
Telegram. I think I had a script. I always had people sign my scripts. And somebody bought my telegram and my script. They wanted a collector. Because, you know, I'm getting a little too tired to carry all this crap around. So I did a kind of a purge. And that was one of the things I was getting rid of. So somebody bought it, lock, stock, and barrel.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I probably would bid on that. Just saying. So, what would you say would be your best on-site experience, like on movie?
On
set?
movie set? Wow.
Or top 5, you know.
Oh
It's
my
like
God,
favorite movie
well-
changes with your mood.
Okay, yeah, no, my favorite movie is always the one I did with Sam. It was one of the last movies I did. It's
You
called...
got the Polaroids.
Yes, thank you. I've got the Polaroids to prove it. But it was also because he was so open to do the work. And if you see the movie, if you've ever seen the movie, everything we have, all the scenes we have together are so emotional, right? And the director was a first-time... The director is the guy who came up with, what's that live? Cops, okay? Yeah, John Langley. He's like a gajillionaire. He came up with Cops. And he always wanted to direct, so this was his first movie, and he didn't know how to direct. So if you watch the movie, everybody's emoting and over the top, and you know, he wasn't able to like go, can you just hold it back a little bit? But working with Sam and seeing him do stuff I'd never seen him do, cry. Sam Elliott cried. And boy, I tell you, Sam Elliott cried. Just everybody watches. So I would have to say that was probably working with him for not the comical, obvious reasons that I said earlier, doing the actual work day to day with him was really incredible. And you know, he's been married to the same woman forever, Catherine Ross, one of the great beauties, Graduate, you name it, yeah. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. I mean, and they've been married forever, so it wasn't really, and as much as my, you know, yeah, it's great.
So, coming into and acting the way that you did, when did you know that you were an actress? When did you know this is it, this is what I'm doing?
Well, I had done a few movies, and I don't remember what movie it was, but I remember the moment when I got the sides and the script for something from my agent, and I remember reading it and for the first time seeing myself. I could actually see me saying those words and being that person, embodying that person, and I actually like broke down and cried because I knew that I wanted it, and I had never wanted, you know, I'd been thrown into movies basically, and you know, I still went home and baked cookies and did stuff, you know. And it's funny, I obviously I didn't get the part, whatever it was, but I will never forget that moment where I just realized that, oh shit, I'm an actor.
That's a great answer.
Thank you. It was a
What-
good question.
Thank you.
Excellent question.
Okay, I kind of forgot we were at a Star Trek convention for a minute.
Oh, yeah. We digress.
I like horror a lot, so I'm like, so.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, oh yeah, Star Trek.
yeah,
So
Star
you were
Trek.
in Star Trek Voyager?
Yes, I was. Yes, I was.
So you guys have to remind me of these things.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that whole experience from.
Well,
trying
this
out.
was really, no. I have a great, how much time do I have? I got
all the time you want.
Okay, I have the best audition story about this, and I've only told this one other time. You know, all of us wanted to do Star Trek. You wanted to be on Star Trek. It was just a cool thing, and you had to wear great stuff, and who knows where you would be, and what kind of thing you would be, and you know, you could make massive decisions, and nobody would go, "Oh, that's a little far," you know. So I get this call for it's a new alien. They're going to have this new alien on Star Trek, and they said show up in a all black body suit, right? Show up to the casting director, but you're not seeing just the they were serious about you with this. You're seeing everybody, right? So don't screw it up. So I
No pressure.
dress all, yeah, no pressure. I dress all in the black and the, you know, the everything. And I go, and they're all in a room, and then they have a hallway that has all these chairs, and there's every actor that looked like me sitting in those damn chairs all down the hallway, and there was one chair down at the end. So I went all the way down, sat myself down in the chair, and waited for my call. And so I'm not one of those actors that at the audition I have the sides and I'm going, no, I do all my stuff at home and then I just sit and relax and go in, so I'm not, you know, I'm more relaxed. Anyway, so I wait, and slowly there's less and less and less of those other girls, bye-bye. And there's like 2 or 3 left, and they call my name, and I get up, and I walk from that last chair to the big room where everybody is. And as I'm walking, one of the girls went, "Hey," like this to me, and I don't turn around because I'm focused on the room there. And you never know, sometimes they try and psych you out. Hollywood is kind of a dog-eat-dog place. So I don't turn around. I go in. I do my audition, and she was this character was a very physical, you know, she's running, she's scared, so I'm all over the office, and you know, and and I finished my audition and I'm getting ready to leave, and the casting director said, "Oh, Mimi, by the way," I said, "Yeah." She said, "Okay, the chair that you sat in must have not been." Yes, you know where I'm going. Must not have been cleaned. I had sat in like, they hadn't dusted it in forever, right? So I had like a big, right on the ass. And I said, "Oh, thanks, God," and I leave, and I'm like, that well. Literally, my agent calls me up and said, at the end of the day, they said, "Why don't we hire the girl with the dusty ass?" I mean, really, what? Let's hire the girl with the dusty ass.
They remembered you.
They remembered
in a room
me.
of people
Yes,
who looked
all
like
those
you,
girls
yeah?
look exactly like me. Yes, exactly. Exactly.
So thank goodness you ignored her,
Yeah.
because you would have wiped that off.
But I was a new alien. This is the really great part. They hired me. This was much more than, like, my part is kind of small. But they didn't hire me for that as much as they hired me for the pregame warm-up. Because it was a new alien, they had me come in 2 weeks early and do makeup tests, different kinds of things, you know? So I would go in the morning, Michael Westmore would do, you know, all these different things. Then they would put me in the van because the makeup place is in the front of the studio, and the big stinky cheese, I forget his name, there was just one guy in this room, an office, Rick Berman, thank you. And he would be in this, like, his office was like this size, and you'd have to walk from the door over to his desk, and he wasn't interested in me at all, he just wanted to see me move in this outfit. So they'd put me in a van and drive me all the way to his office. Well, what the hell? I had him drive, because they always did tours, you know, they had, so we'd find groups of tourists that were getting the tours, yeah, and I'd roll down the window and I'd ask them where Planet 10 was, or I would say, anybody I got something stuck in my teeth right here, or I would just, you know, go, if there were little kids, or, it was so much fun. But I did that for 2 weeks until they decided what they wanted that alien to look like. So that was the cool part. That was the really cool part. And then they killed me off.
But you got paid for 2 weeks?
Yes, I did. I got paid longer than that. I got an extra 2 weeks. Thank you. And I still get residuals for all of it. I still get residuals for Star Trek. Still. I still get fan mail from Star Trek. I got a fan letter, within the last couple of years, few years, that said, I loved the trousers you wore on Jake and the Fat Man. I kid you not. Does anybody remember Jake and the Fat Man?
I don't remember the trousers.
No. I loved the trousers you wore on Jake and the Fat Man. Thank God he doesn't have my home address. Oh yeah, no, this was not recently, within the last 5 years, okay? When was Jake and the Fat Man? Yeah.
Do you remember the pants?
No.
Trousers.
No, you know what? But I do remember the look. It was a very specific look they wanted. They wanted very patrician, very, you know, up crust. I was either hired to play junkie strippers or like New York blue blood, you know, the Seinfeld thing. Russell, can we eat? You know, kind of thing. Yeah, never the in-between, you know? Yeah, hey, I was game. It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
We have questions?
Any questions now? I have only one, Betty Thomas. Do you remember Betty Thomas? Oh my God, Hill Street Blues?
Yeah.
Okay, she was the tall blonde cop. Okay, she ended up being an amazing director, and I did an episode of Dream On with Brian Benben. This is my agent, Scott. Hi, Agent Scott, everybody.
I was really impressed.
Yeah, no.
He knows everything.
He does. He knows everything. Yes.
But
That's right.
But do you remember the trousers?
Yeah, no. Ooh. Okay, Betty Thomas was incredible, and that's the only female director I've ever worked for, and I've got great Betty Thomas stories, but we don't have time. I've got one. You want me to tell you one? Okay, do you remember Dream On? Do you remember the show? Okay, it was basically Brian Benben and a lot of topless women and laughing, okay? Well, so John Landis produced it. The auditions were always, when you went in, you would read the stuff, and then you'd have to, and there was a room full of people, and you had to drop your top, because they didn't want any, you know, fake scars, I don't know, but, and they loved me, but they could never find the right part for me. So it got to be hilarious. I would walk in the casting, there'd be Landis, and I go, okay, John. And he'd go, no, Mimi, you don't need to. I went, no, everybody, I'm doing it. And I would drop them every time. Yeah. So Betty Thomas had been directing Dream On, and there was always, Brian was surrounded by women and their breasts, right? All the time. So the part I was doing was a part where he wanted me. I mean, like, he was chasing me the entire episode. It was all about me, and I didn't want anything to do with him. So Betty came to me and she said, and then at the end of it, I do it, it's supposed to be him coming in and, I'm supposed to be topless. And she came out and she said, okay, little Mimi. She called everybody little because Betty Thomas is like 6'6", or 6'10". I mean, she's huge. She said, little Mimi, I need a favor. I said, okay, Betty, what? She said, well, the camera is only going to be on Brian's reaction when he comes in the room. I'm gonna see the back of you, right? And I said, yeah. And she said, would you do it nude so that I could get his reaction? I want to shock him. I want him to come in and be so gobsmacked. We won't see your cover, it'll be, very, she just talked and talked. And I said, Betty, no. She would, that's okay. I said, no. I have to wear my pearls. And she started to laugh, and I started to laugh, and I tell you what, I am wearing those pearls. And they are like right here, just kind of swinging, and I'm wearing a Rolex watch and my pearls, and nothing else. And Brian came into the room. You should have seen the look on his face. Oh my God. And he was the nicest guy. He's married, Anytime they yelled cut, and there was, he's the first one to avert his eyes and go, here's your robe, Mimi, thank you. Here's your robe, Mimi, thank you. Oh, his face. No, it's worth a rent or a whatever, or a search. Now, I guess you don't rent things anymore. You just search it out. Dream on. Yeah, I did it. Oh, yes, I did. And he walks in and he's just, and I went, you're late. Yeah, it was great.
Any other questions?
If I wait long enough, we're gonna fill up this entire place.
Well, I have a question.
Sure.
Is there a role, any role that you've done that has affected you personally, that's made you feel different, change something?
All of them did momentarily, because I was big into backstories. So if I got even in my commercial work, I worked a lot commercially too. I was the oil of Olay girl for a couple of seasons, and I would come up with backstories for them. I'm sorry, but I was an actor.
No.
I was an actor.
We need to know more about the oil of Olay.
Well, her name was Monique, and she was from France. No, I'm serious. I would come up, not like huge details and stuff like that, but small things, because, you're going in and I'm supposed to be this thing that is going to make people buy stuff, and you never feel enough as a real person. You're not enough. I couldn't possibly be enough so that you would all go out and buy oil of Olay. So I became Monique. Yeah. Kind of like, what was Moxie last night? Yeah, no, that was great. She was great. So every part I did, I would, if it wasn't in the script, I put it in there. So I lived with them all. Yeah.
And so what are you doing now? Besides this?
Well, actually, I don't do this very much. This is only I think I've only done 5 shows. Yeah.
Everybody here's lucky.
Yeah, no, I don't do a lot of them, but it's Indianapolis. It's Indianapolis, okay? Right. Yeah, no, and my friend Jay Acavone told me to come here. Jay Acavone has been at this show, yes, and he's big with the, wait a minute, I keep forgetting the party guys upstairs. Barfleet. I keep forgetting, and he keeps saying, whoop, whoop, okay, yeah, Barfleet. All right. Yeah, And plus, this is my hometown, so, you know, yeah. So, what was your question? I don't even remember.
So
the
what else,
question.
what else are you doing now?
Oh, well, I still do photography, but mostly I garden and bake, which I always did anyway, but now I just get to do a lot more of it. And yeah, no, I'm 62 years old, so, and I have lived a big life. I'm actually writing a book, to tell you the truth, which I will not say the name of, because you can't own it. You can't own the name of your book. So, and it's a good title, so I'm not telling anybody, but I expect you all to buy it.
They will.
No, I am. I'm actually writing it.
And did you use oil of Olay?
Oh, God, yes.
Because you look fabulous.
Thank you. No.
I'm gonna go out and buy some.
Well, we'll talk.
Monique told me to.
Yeah, Monique. I tested for them also. I tested for years their products. Yeah, they would send me all their stuff. They're very good. They're very good. Yeah.
Well, and we can find you over at your table,
Yes.
and you have.
Over there. If you come up with any questions later on, just let me know. I'll be around.
So let's give a great big round of applause.
Thank you, guys. It's so early. Thank you for coming.
Well, thank you so much, and make sure you go over and visit.